How are you doing? I have this craft box that I got, and it has a lot of really cool stuff in it that I think is going to make some really awesome sounds. And I'm filming at night currently, which is very rare for me. I think I've only ever filmed like maybe 3 or 4 times at night on my channel ever, and it's so uncharacteristically quiet right now that I just couldn't pass it up, even though I'm really sleepy. So hopefully I can keep my eyes open and we can kind of explore everything that's in this craft box. Before the video started, I took a lot of the things out of the packaging they were in because it was a harder kind of plastic that was very loud. Actually, there's one item here, a bag of beads that I did not open, that's still in hard plastic. So I put these other things into Ziploc to hopefully kind of reduce some of the very, very loud noises that might be kind of jarring. But let's just kind of talk through what we have here. So there's a pair of scissors. They're not safety scissors, so they're not totally kids, but they're still not super, super sharp. But that's okay. There's also a large bundle of wooden popsicle sticks, which I don't know about you, but I have a lot of fond memories of creating things with popsicle sticks. And I've actually always kind of remembered liking the wooden kind of sound. When I was a kid, one of my aunts had this shaker at her house. I still to this day don't know exactly what instrument it was, but it was a rounded instrument like a maraca, but the top part, the bulbous part, was much larger, and it had a sort of sleeve over it that was made out of kind of like wooden beads, so it made like a wood on wood kind of noise, and you could shake it and it would make more of a rattling sound. It was a beautiful instrument, and I definitely still think of that whenever I hear like wood on wood, which is a sound I really, really like actually. And I also really like the sound of popsicle stick on teeth. Like just that actual noise. But I definitely made a lot of arts and crafts growing up at camps and school events and things that used a lot of popsicle sticks. Okay, so next we have a bunch of glitters, and these are all sort of, this one looks actually just like glue, but it comes in the same container as the rest. So we have a red glittery sort of gel, a clear glittery gel. I don't know if you can see, but this is really, really pretty and glittery. And then there is a blue, a really nice blue, that's also very glittery. And our last three are a gold, a sort of, I guess we'll call this berry. It's not quite pink, I guess. Almost more of a magenta, fuchsia. I'm not sure. We'll call it berry. And then a silver glitter, which I like that they give you like a clear glittery and a silver glitter. Seems like you have a lot more options that way, so that's nice. I also really love the bundle of pipe cleaners. I don't know why I like these so much, but I really like the feel of the fabric, even though I often get poked with the pointy end of the pipe cleaner, and that doesn't feel great. The actual sort of fleecy felt that the pipe cleaners are made of is very soft, and I really like how easy it is to bend them and make them stay exactly the way that you want them to. It's kind of a very satisfying arts and crafts thing, and I definitely think that for children or for people trying to get mobility back or the elderly, like, pipe cleaners are a winner every time. They're super easy to use and create something that feels like you accomplished something, even though they're kind of simple. They do what you want, which is a nice feeling. Okay. We also have a plume of feathers, which I didn't know would make so much noise around the microphone. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to have to heavily edit this or not. But we have an orange feather. I used to really like to pull all the little strands of the feather apart. Of course, my favorite is this very, very vibrant purple, which I think this shade of purple, I don't know how real it's gonna look on camera, but in real life, this shade of purple is like my absolute favorite color of all time. It's so rich and royal that it almost makes you think it's blue, but it's really just a very, very powerful purple. And we got a yellow also. There's an actual blue, which I think blue is probably my favorite color for a long time until I really thought about it. I think it's almost in a lot of our nature to really like the color blue, to be attracted to it. I think, like, almost evolutionarily, it's just a pleasing color. When you think about it, you know, it's the color of the beautiful sky. It's the color that we perceive water often to be, like bodies of water, things that nourish us and make our spirits feel good and kind of bring good omens for us. So I think we're all kind of hardwired to like the color blue. And I'm sure one of you hates the color blue, but I think it's very natural, and that's the reason why a lot of the times when we're young, people either say that they like blue or they like pink, and pink was always just the de facto girl's color, I think. But since I was never very girly, And then I thought about it, and purple is definitely more me. And I've been purple ever since. We also have a red feather, which is a bold and fiery color that is actually my least favorite, I think, just because I don't relate to it a lot. I'm not much of like a fire sign person, I don't think. The rest are duplicates except for the two green leaves feathers. I guess they make me think of leaves. Green is another color that I think is underappreciated. I really think green might be like my second favorite color. It also reminds me a lot of just obviously life and nature. It's kind of like the color of life. You think of red as the color of fire, red and orange, I guess. Green is always the giver. And I think it's a beautiful color too, very underrated. I don't know why I'm on about colors, but I guess I figure I'll just roll with it. So the kit does come with 2 feathers of every color of the rainbow, which is nice for crafting. Next we have some big bags of excess stuff. This Ziploc is filled with a whole bunch of kind of styrofoam shapes, hearts and stars and kind of flower shapes in various finishes. And the little foam pieces have an adhesive backing. And I'm sure the adhesive backing allows you to stick these onto your craft. We've also got some sheets of foam. In a variety of colors. We've got yellow, orange, brown, purple, bright green, pink, black, red, white, blue, and then we have an extra blue, white, red, black, and pink. It's interesting that they chose these colors. I wonder if it has anything to do with the craft book that they also provide. So this is a little DIY booklet for the things that you can do with your crafts, with your supplies, I should say. You can make a rainbow with pipe cleaner cleaners to make little puffy clouds at the end of your rainbow. You can make an owl with your sticks and feathers. An ice cream cone or a paper plate taco. A craft stick unicorn. A glitter smiley face. A sequin peacock. And fuzzy stick snakes are all different projects that they give you ideas for, and they also have a website, craftprojectideas.com, that apparently has more options to play around with. And I actually just got this kit in the clearance section of Walmart. I don't know if you know or not, but most Walmarts have 3 or 4 aisles of stuff that's on clearance, and you can find some really good deals there, and a lot of cool ASMR stuff too sometimes. I definitely think this was one of the best finds, like bang for your buck, that I've gotten there so far in terms of ASMR stuff, but they have all kinds of things that go in the clearance area. Ours is like near the seasonal kind of area, so the stuff rotates out. It's also a really good place to find like stocking stuffers and little gifts. I've never bought anything from the clearance yet that's been faulty or garbage. It's just they're trying to get rid of it. So, the next thing that we have is a bag of little sort of assorted pom-poms, and I cannot tell you how much I love these. I love how they feel and look. I think they're so whimsical and cute, and they also remind me very strongly of these games that we used to play in elementary school, and there were foam balls that looked a lot like these, but in like real size. So they were all different colors, just like that, all different sizes, soft, like plushy balls. And sometimes when it was raining, especially if we couldn't go outside and the teacher had to improvise something for us to do, we would play these ball games, and we would cut the gym sort of in half, and teams would be on either side, and our gym teacher would set up these like obstacles, I guess, kind of barricades that you could hide behind or whatever, and the balls would get scattered all across the court of the gymnasium, and it was just all out like trench warfare, and you just try to peg people and throw the balls from one side to the other. And it was a really kind of harmless game because the goal wasn't to actually hit people. You could, because the balls were so soft, you could like joke around with your friends and throw it at them, but really it was just whichever side had more balls at the end lost. So you want to get rid of them as fast as you can. And that was just like a lot of fun. It was one of the most harmless gym games, and you didn't have to be like super in shape, so I could keep up with it. And it also wasn't like there was no spotlight on you. Everyone was just having fun, and those were like some of my only good gym class memories. So I was not a gym class hero, even though I'm a fan. So the next thing we have are these really, really pretty different strands of string, which I don't know why, I just love seeing stuff like this. I know it's like so nerdy. If I ever walked into like a really well organized sewing room, I think I would just stare for a really long time and want to touch everything, because I just love organization, and I feel like sewing and knitting, things that have to do with yarn and string, there's always a lot of pretty colors, and anything to do with like fabrics and textiles, and then seeing them all so like beautifully arranged, it always just makes me happy, I guess. But we have red, a pink, and then we have this really pretty, this is one of my favorite shades of pink. It's kind of like a deep coral sort of color. And then we have a light green, a soft sort of lilac or lavender purple, a butter yellow, snow white, a dark black, and then we have a sort of royal standard blue, king's blue, and a robin's egg sort of green blue. And I'll put these up here in front of our glitters. Okay, so the last really kind of thing that we have, it's a whole group of packets, and they all have kind of different stuff in them, so I'm going to try to put them down gently and sort of go through one at a time. So first of all, we have some of these packs are actually glitter packs, and this is a nice shimmery red. There's also a really, really dazzling and pretty blue. This is very much like Horde and Alliance right here. Or take the blue pill, take the red pill. It's all, they're very, very vivid colors. And then we've also got a really pretty suffused sort of pinkish flecks in it, white glitter, and this is like my favorite glitter color of all time. I didn't even really know I had a favorite glitter color until this very moment, but when I think about it, everything that I like most that has glitter, which isn't a lot because that's not really my aesthetic, it's always like Christmas stuff that has this specific kind of pinkish white glitter somehow coated on it. So make of that what you will. Okay, next we have a nice bronzy gold glitter, which this always makes me think of the holidays too for some reason. And our last two, we have an actual like pure silver, which is really pretty and kind of reminds me of an eyeshadow that I have. And the final one is this really, really hot pink color. Again, it's kind of almost a berry. It's kind of like the glitter too. I don't know that I would really consider it pink. It looks pink, but there's just some sort of purple undertone to it or something that's making me not want to call it pink. Anyway, so it comes with 6 different glitter packs. I feel like this is a lot of crafts for only this much glue. So definitely gonna want to incorporate probably some of your own glue, maybe hot glue too. The last few packs that we have different objects that you can add. So one is just some plain sequins. These are the kind that have the hole through the center. They're kind of just like your classic confetti sequins, which I suppose you could go through the agony of threading that hole. But why do that? Most of the time these are just glued onto something. Maybe the hole helps it stick better, I don't know. Okay, so our last 2 packs are googly eyes. It's a very interesting noise that they make. then finally we have these gems, which the ASMR community has actually been making really cool use of with tapping. And actually, of course, Maria's taps for your naps, or whatever it is like one of my favorite. I love the sound of the like acrylic nails on the sheet of those kind of like gemstones. So I'm definitely thinking about taking some glue, maybe some hot glue, so that they stick really well, and making some cards that I can tap but also have gemstones on. I think that sound is just so good, and I'm still kind of getting used to making sounds well on this microphone, but hopefully I would be able to perfect it and make it something worth watching. So I feel like this is quite a lot of crafts, quite a big grouping of things for not a whole lot of money, so I'm really excited to get to play with it. And I think what I want to do right now is use some popsicle sticks to test out these glitter colors. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we've got our 6 test strip sticks. And we'll just go in order. This is the red one. Okay. Oh, wow, that's really pretty. So it's really cool because the main part of it is actually clear, and it's really just like glitter in a clear paste. So it's not actually going to be like fully red. I don't know why I was thinking that it was going to be more solid, but this is actually really pretty and I like it a lot. So I'm excited to see the rest. The next one is the kind of like clear, transparent with the pink flecks that I like. Okay. So this one, you can definitely kind of have to turn it into the light to really see the pigment of the glitter. When you just kind of look at it head on, it just looks like clear glue without anything to it. So that one kind of the light has to hit right. I feel like it would probably be nice to accent something, like if you're doing the inside of an eye, or I don't know what you'd be drawing, but if you want to make something look frosted or glazed, I think that would be a really, really good choice for that, but not on its own for anything. This next one is our blue. Again, I really like this. It reminds me just a lot of actually, I don't know if I'm sure some of you are gonna have had one of these, but there were these things that were always on class trips, like at the gift shop at the end. It was a stick, a clear tube of plastic that was filled with like water and glitter and sometimes some other little things that had to do with, like if you were at the aquarium, there might be little fish and things like that inside, and This next one is our gold, and oh man, this is one of the prettiest ones. I really like this gold. It definitely immediately reminds me of that Gold Fleck vodka or whatever from the movie Superbad. I've never had it, and I don't know if it's actually real, but it looks like that. Very, very glittery and pretty. This is probably the most interesting one for me because I want to see what this color actually looks like when it's out. Still, I mean, this is even harder because all of the other ones, the gel that the glitter is suspended in looks really clear, and this one, the gel looks really pink, which is interesting. I wonder if the glitter that they used kind of tainted the gel, or if they intentionally used a different color gel, because this gel is very, very clearly pink, whereas all of the other ones are really clearly clear. Clean and clear and under control. Okay. And the last one is the High Silver Shine, which should be pretty loud. Yeah, that's really pretty. It's really shimmery and intense. I think it complements the gold one really nicely. Like they have similar amounts of glitter in them and would look really good together, I think, too. So that's cool. These all look really good, and they applied really easily out of the tube. None of the caps were clogged or messed up, and I squeezed just a little bit, and it was easy for those to glide out. So I would say the most underwhelming one is definitely the pink glitter. It just really just looks like clear glue. But yeah, like I said, I think it's a good complement. It's just not a standalone color. So cool. Well, I'm excited to get to play with all of these things a little bit, and maybe I'm not really looking to like make anything super awesome out of this. It's very much a kid's craft kit, and I certainly only bought it for the intents of ASMR, but I do think that it has some cool possibilities, and I also just think that it's fun to kind of have this stuff on hand. Sometimes I know that a lot of us can relate to the thought of doing two things at once in the sense of our entertainment. So we might be watching a show, but we're also on our phone scrolling through something, whatever. Like, we're always doing kind of two things at once, never really paying our full attention to one thing. And if I'm going to be that way, I try to at least make those things that I'm doing in the meantime a little more productive than just scrolling through. So doing silly crafts like this, it's just fun sometimes. You make weird little stuff, and they can just be interesting while you're watching a movie, or I don't know, waiting on something. It's just more fun to me to try to challenge myself and make something than to look at other people's pictures and stuff. So it's also really good too, of course, if you have children. This kind of stuff is really not that expensive, and when you're a kid, it just feels like, oh my god, this is so much stuff. Like, we all have, not we all, I keep generalizing things like everyone's exactly the same. I should say that a lot of people I knew had this one really funky, crappy pack of crayons and markers that would dry out immediately, and a little like watercolor set or something. It was all one kind of like briefcase, and it must have gone on sale across the entire nation, because I swear almost everyone I knew had one, had seen one, had one in art class, whatever. They were everywhere. And I always felt on the top of the world whenever I got access to a kit like that. It was like having the 64 pack of Crayolas. Like, you had every tag. What else could you need? So yeah, I think there's still sort of that kind of feeling, even though this stuff is so irrelevant in the everyday life. It's still kind of fun to like get creative and see what you can do with these things. Even if it is something that you just throw in the trash, at least it was fun to make something and it made your brain work. Sometimes I try to make things that I dream, and just bring them into reality for fun. So I encourage you to go check your local stores, look at the clearance sections, try to find something fun and work on it with someone you care about, by yourself, with your kids. It's just fun to, not just fun, it's good for us too, to work our minds and our hands and build our motor skills and our expectations and all that good stuff. So this is not the point of the video, and I didn't mean to get serious. I was not actually feeling serious. So anyway, I hope that you guys